So-called hip hinge, we can actually learn the proper movement in the gym and make it stronger so we can then use it on the water as well. Hey guys, welcome to our first video of our new series of how an exercise is being done and why we do it for water skiing. Today we're starting with the so-called hip hinge. It's a hip hinge drill, which is really important for us water skiers. The reason why, we all know that we have lower back issues through water skiing, and that mostly comes from when we bend forward at the buoy, like braking at the buoy because of some sort of technical issue or whatever it could be. And then we try to pull ourselves back out as quickly as possible because we don't have that much time to the next buoy. We are compensating for that a lot of times by just trying to roll ourselves back up and not doing the proper movement. But the thing is, with a so-called hip hinge, we can actually learn the proper movement in the gym and make it stronger so we can then use it on the water as well. So basically, it's super simple. All we need to do is a stick. We use a stick, we use a golf club, whatever you want to use. And I'm going to show you how it's done. So basically, we're going to bring the stick on our back. We're trying to touch the glutes or the lowest point of our spine, the spine between our shoulder blades and our head against the stick. So when we got that, then we're trying to control our core, push this into the stick. And all we're going to do is we're going to try to keep all these parts on the stick and bend at the hip forward. We're trying not to lose any of those positions. Make sure that you really feel those spots. And then this is our hip hinge. So we're gonna feel it, and we're gonna move as far down as we can until we feel a pull in our hamstrings or in our glutes. So then we come back up, and then this is the hip hinge. The reason why we do that is that we learn proper movement and braking at the hip so that we can use our hamstrings and glutes to come back up. We are always keeping our core engaged because that helps our spine to be stabilized so that we don't necessarily roll into the spine. I can show you with the stick when it's done improperly. We roll the spine, so then we have no control of our core, and when we come back up, we roll ourselves back up. And that does an overcompensation of our quadracemborium, which is a muscle attached from the spine and rib cage and goes down to your hips. And that, when we compensate too much in water skiing, can be overworked, and that's what you most likely can feel as a fatigued back, and then you don't want to get up, or you sit down and you just have this aching feeling. You don't know where necessarily it comes from, and this is mostly from overcompensation on the water. So the next step from there, after the hip hinge, if you do it properly, would be deadlifts. Because with the deadlifts done properly, we learn how to strengthen our core and keep the core locked in while we bend forward, and then using our glutes and our hamstrings to pull ourselves back up. And if you've done that properly, you can, after a technical failure on the water, be much quicker to come back into position, and also in the beginning have a much stronger position to begin with. Because if you can control your core and your glutes and your hamstrings together to make a solid, stable position, then you can always transition energy through the handle into the ski without a lag and without losing too much of this energy while being at some position. It's basically the same when you use a stick to push two cars. If the stick is straight, it's easy to push a car with another car. As soon as the stick starts bending somewhere, the pressure at this point gets much greater, and when you start pushing the car more and more and more, this pressure can bend the stick more, and eventually it breaks. That's basically the same idea we have at the hip. So while skiing, doesn't matter if it's tricking, jumping, slalom, wakeboard, whatever, it's the same concept all the way through, and that's how we get a solid stability in skiing before we even go deeper into the technical issues. So again, hip hinge is really important for water skiing, so that we are learning a proper movement and proper coordination of our brain to our muscles, so we engage the right muscle groups. I hope that helped you a little bit for understanding what to do in the gym, so that you can also use it in the water. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and on Instagram. Make sure that you follow me so that you can always stay updated with the newest exercise videos and explanations of why we do things the way we do at Radix. Have a good day.